But Jannah is for people of Iman, people of faith, and people of character. So long as you're able to hold on to that, watch what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives to you as a reward. And subhanAllah, to merge the two in conclusion. Because sometimes you'll be going about living your ordinary life, and then an extraordinary difficulty will hit you, and you will wish for the life you used to have. Right? You complain about life today, and then something happens to you or your family, and then tomorrow, your Jannah on earth would be the life that you had yesterday. If only I could go back to that. I wasn't happy when I was there, but if only I could go back to that. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes something from you. And we were taught by the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Allahumma ajurni fi musibati wa akhluf li khayran min. Allahumma ajurni fi musibati wa akhluf li khayran min. Oh Allah, compensate me for my trial and give me what is better than that. This is when the extraordinary happens to you, when the difficulty happens to you, when the circumstance hits you. You put your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for an extraordinary reward. And you just say, give me better than it. You don't ask Allah to give it to you in this dunya. You don't ask Allah to not give it to you in this dunya. You don't quantify what you're asking Allah. You just say, oh Allah, I lost something. Oh Allah, give me something better. And in that process, what Allah will give you is so much greater because you dealt with an extraordinary loss with patience. And so you ask for khayran min, something that is better than it. And then you have the intentional day-to-day. Man taraka shay'an lillah, awwadahu Allahu khayran min. Whoever leaves something for Allah, Allah will give something that is much better in return. Whoever leaves something for Allah. This is really applicable to the day-to-day of what we do. You know what? It's not worth this extra amount to cheat someone and get a better deal in this dunya. It's not worth the lie. It's not worth the oath. It's not worth the sweeter vacation or something I can now put on my house or put on my car. It's not worth any comfort in this life. I'll leave it. And subhanallah, you are dealing with a Rabb, you're dealing with a Lord who rewards sadaqah, charity. And most people give charity from their extra. They give charity from what they have of extra. Who rewards charity by up to 700 and more and more and more. Ad'af, multiplies charity. You give Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in charity this much, Allah turns it into mountains of gold on the Day of Judgment. And the only difficulty you have to face when you're giving charity in that moment is what? The forsaking of usually what is disposable, usually something that is extra. But when it comes to your day-to-day dealings, where your sidq and your amana will be tested, where your trustworthiness, your truthfulness will be tested, in your family or your community or your employment. And that moment you forego not even $1, less than $1, something that cannot even be quantified financially, something that if put on the scale would be 0.00001. Imagine what Allah will turn that into of extraordinary reward on His mizan, on His scale on the Day of Judgment. Because you have combined al-Iman, the belief in Allah. Inna Allah huwa ar-Razzaq, dhul quwwat al-mateen. Allah is the one who provides. I know that in my heart. That's tawheed, monotheism, aqeedah. I know Allah is the one who provides. So I'll never cheat Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the provider, trying to provide for myself. And then you combine that with being like the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as-Sadiq al-Amin, who used to just trade and shepherd for a few coins on the outskirts of Ajyad, on the outskirts of Mecca over there. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us a people that always seek what is better and that always do what is better. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never allow us to trade of the akhirah and purchase what is of this dunya. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the best of this life and the best of the hereafter and protect us from the fire of hell. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us not just Jannah, but Al-Firdaus Al-A'la, the highest level. Not because we deserve it, but because it is befitting to His generosity.